So in the vise, I got the X Series all-purpose hook from Umpqua. It's one of their newer hooks. This is the XS410. I really like this hook. I've been using it on a lot of streamers as well. Just a good all-around hook. So this is a size 2 in the vise. And we got some UTC Ultra thread in the 140 in tan. Start my thread wraps just behind the eye here. Work my way down to the bend. Snip out my excess. Flatten my thread out. Work just around the bend a little bit. And then I'm going to take a piece of my Krystal flash. You can use pearl, you can use black, you can use olive. Just the antennae of the shrimp. Got that in there. A couple lengths of the body. Snip it out. I'm going to take another strand of my Sili legs. And I'll have that on my thread and tie that down right on top. Got those tied in. Got my crab eyes, shrimp eyes. And we're going to tie those in. Just at the bend there. Same deal, I kind of want these angled down a little bit. Once we got one eye tied in there, tie in my other eye. Try to make sure that this stays on the side of the shank here. Snip out my excess mono. And I'll clean up wraps in front of the mono here, make everything uniform. So I got that in there. Once again, I'll kind of bend my eyes outward. Flare a little bit. So looking good. Trim our rubber legs down just a little bit. I'm going to take some UV ice dub in the tan, kind of pull apart my fibers, make sure that I get the long ones in there, and I'll bring my thread right to where the bend starts, and I'll tie in a patch, make 2 securing wraps, fold it over, double it up, hold them all back, and tie that down in there. Just right back to where my eyes tied in at. Pluck out some of the loose ones. So now I've prepped some of my foam. I'm cutting probably 1/2 inch strip. Fairly long for the body piece, and then another small kind of diamond piece for my the back of my shrimp here. So I tie it in the diamond so it makes it easier to tie down to the shank, and then start right at the tip. Work my way back. From there, make sure it's even. It's pretty good. Crank down on the rest of the foam, get that bulk out of there. So yeah, that's tied in. I'll take my longer strip here and tie in the tip of the diamond going back. Well, put that all the way back. That smaller piece I tied in. So they're kind of butted up right against each other. Crank the rest of that foam down. Now I'm going to take my Tarantula brush, and you could use a shrimp dub brush, you can use Tarantula brush. I like this one because of the legs. Tie that in right back to my foam here and bring my thread about halfway on the shank. I'm going to make wraps going forward with my brush. Pretty sparse, you know, I'm not really overlapping, so they're kind of up against one another. And then I'll capture my brush, make a couple wraps in front and behind, and pull them back, another couple wraps. And then I'm going to part the top of the brush with a brush and fold my piece of foam over. Makes a nice little buggy crustacean looking top hard shell to it. Capture my foam, make sure it stays on top of the fly there, and make a couple tightening wraps, and then I'll bring my thread in front of the foam. This is where it can get a little tricky. You don't want to crowd the eye of the fly, so you want to make two even segmented, wraps like I just did. So just going to be real light with my brush. Capture and snug that down. And fold it over again. Snug that down, a couple wraps, fold it back over, a couple more wraps in front, and then take a couple more wraps with my brush, sneak it behind the eye here. Pull everything back. Trim out my brush, and then one more wrap over the top of my foam, kind of a loose one, and then I can kind of pull it and snug it down. And then I'm gonna fold back kind of everything and work it just behind the eye. Now your spacing might take a little practice. I kind of try to get it as close as I can to the eye without crowding it up. Do my whip finish. 2 of them. And I'll clean up kind of the excess. Try to snip my thread out. So got 2 fairly even ones in the front, big one in the back, and then I'm going to cut a nice straight line just so it's overlapping the eye. It'll help push some water, and I'm going to go in and clean up the rubber legs around the eye here. So then I'll take my dubbing brush, kind of rough up the legs here on the bottom. Make sure they're all sticking out how we want them. Pull them straight down. And then got my 5-inch pair of scissors here, and I'm just gonna make kind of an angled trim going back so I'm not crowding the hook point. And pull everything back. Make sure my eyes are splayed out. There you have it. Poppin Flats Shrimp.